Everyone, in this tutorials I'm talking about Avro Serializer. And before this video we have discussed already about serializer, deserializer, and what are the default serializers offered by Apache Kafka and what are the serializer offered by Confluent platform, right? So we have discussed already JSON serializer and we have an example, right? And so in this session we will see Avro Serializer. So to use AvroSerializer, there is a dependency that we need to install Confluent platform, right? So already I have discussed on installation of Confluent platform. Let's see once again, brief. So here I'm using Mac, and here what we have to do for installation that you have to download Confluent platform and you have to extract anywhere where you want to install. So I have extracted here Confluent 5.5, right? This is my path I have extracted here, and once extracted this Confluent platform, you have to go to your home directory. This is my home directory, and here there is a one hidden file, bash_profile. Let's see. Bash_profile .bash_c.profile. In this file we have to mention Java first, Java environmental variables, and we have to add the path Java home into the system path variables, and after that here we have a Confluent platforms home environmental variables I have set, and I have added this Confluent home in system path. And one more variables we have to add this Confluent current. Here we have to add the data folder where the Confluent will store the logs, right? So I have created this data folder inside Confluent 5.5.0, right? To store the data, Confluent will store automatically. If you don't mention here, so Confluent will use /var some other path, default path, right? So once we are done with that, it means we have to install the Java, we have to set the Java path, we have to install the Confluent platform, and we have to set the path. Once we are done with this, our Confluent is ready to use, right? So how to use? So once we are done, so first we have to check that our environmental variable is set correctly or not. So to check, you have to print this variables Confluent_home. If we can see here that it is printing here, it means it will work in your session. In this terminal it doesn't print, then what you have to do, you exit the terminals and open terminals again and check. Even if it doesn't work, then log in and log out from the user, and after that check again, it will work. If it doesn't print, it will not work your command, right? So we have to be very careful that the variables must be printed on the screen first. If it doesn't print, it will not work. So after set, check like this, and once we are done with this configuration, then we have a command confluent local status or start or stop. So already I have run the Confluent platform, to check that you can see here that Confluent is running. So to run the Confluent platform, you have this local and start, right? This is the command to start the Confluent platform, and it will run all the required servers, right? Zookeeper, Kafka, schema, registry, everything will run. So if you want to stop, then you have a Confluent local stop, right? This is the way how to start, stop, and check the status. So in this, in my case now, my Confluent platform has been installed and up and running, right? So this was the prerequisites to use Avro. So already Confluent platform is running here, right? So we need to understand first now about Avro. Then so we need to know that Avro is the data serialization system, right? And Avro relies on schema. If you want to serialize our data into the Avro format, so we need to create a schema first for that. And for reading and writing data in Avro format, a schema is needed. Without a schema, we cannot serialize or deserialize Avro data. And Avro schema is defined with JSON. Actually, we write a schema, Avro schema in JSON format, right? So see one examples how we write this schema. Like let's say I want to write employee schema, then employee dot, this is the extension AVSV. This is the extension of Avro schema. So we will write like employee dot AVSV in this file, and we can write like this, like namespace. You can give any name, but type must be record here. Make sure that type equal to type is record. Name you can give any name of your schema, and after that we have to list here the fields. What are the fields for this employee schema? So for example, I have mentioned here the employee ID and name, and the type is integer, and another field is the employee name and the type is a string, right? So for more details we can visit here, right? This is the where you URL you can find more detail about Avro. So let's check here. So you can see here regarding Avro. So I will recommend you to must read this Avro, so that it would be easy to work with Avro format. And we have some examples in Java and Python, and we will find what are the primitive data types which is used in Avro format, and complex data type. These are, and this is the like example to create a basic schema. So hope you understand this Avro format, right? So now we have done with the Avro format, right? And we have an examples here, right? Now, we will use Avro console producer and Avro console consumer to produce and consume Avro data, right? Then how to use the Confluent platform actually provide this Kafka-avro-console-producer and Kafka-avro-console-consumer tools to uh, test Avro data to send and how to consume, right? So this is the command, and how to use that, it is easy, not a big deal. Just we need to define some extra property like value schema and the key schema if you want to send the key as well. So here is the example. So let's see for this to test this Kafka-avro-console-producer, we will create one topic first, and then we will send the record, and we will read the record using Kafka-avro-console-producer and Kafka-avro-console-consumer tool. Right. So let's start. I have let's say I create here topic Avro 2. This is my topic name, and I'm not mentioning, I'm not giving here any replication factor and partition. By default, it will create with one partition and one replication factor, right? So here I have created my topic Avro 2 is created, and we can describe here to check whether the number of partitions. If I don't mention here, so by default it will create one partition. Try. Yes. Try. Let's try, right? And we can see here the number partition count is 1, replication factor is 1, right? And the partitions number is 0, right? Only one leader, and the broker ID is 0. Replicas is also 0 because only one leader and the broker ID is 0. That's why ISR is also 0. This is the broker ID actually. This is the broker ID, right? Because the Confluent work or community version works on only on one broker. That's by default the broker ID is 0. So it is showing here broker ID, right? Broker ID. And this is the partition number because there is only one partition and the partition number starts with 0. So this is the partition number 0. There is only one partition. So I have created topic Avro 2 to test my Avro producer and Avro consumer, right? And let's start sending data, right, in Avro. So how to send? So we have a tool Kafka-avro-console-producer. Then we know this, right? Bootstrap server, localhost by default it runs on 9092, and the topic name is I have created topic avro 2, right? And now I have to set property. So hyphen property. The important property is we need to set like value dot schema, and we have to pass the schema, right? We have seen the schema, our schema, right? So directly we can pass here a schema. So how we can pass like this, right? We need to tell the type, right? That the type is record, and then name. Name is like my record, and then fields. We have to list all the fields here. Right. So here, and then the curly bracket for each field, and the name. Let's say my first field name is EMPID, and what is the type of this field? I want to keep integer, right? One field already I have mentioned here. Now I want another field, so comma and open the curly bracket, and then write here name, and the field name I want EMP name. It's up to you what you want to mention here, and the type I want here string, right? So just two fields for testing purpose, and close the bracket, and then close another curly bracket, and then comma. So I have mentioned here value schema. Just I'm sending uh, value. The first, let's test with the value first. I want to test only value, right? So I'm not sending any key. By default, the key would be null, right? If I don't send any value or any key, by default, the key would be null, right? So now how to send message? Then we have to follow the schema format. Like the first field is EMPID, and we have to send this is the integer, right? And the second field is EMP name, and the value is Mr. Wazir, right? This is the value, right? I have passed one record here. Now let's see consumer now, right? So we have a tool Kafka-avro-console-consumer, bootstrap server, localhost 9092, topic avro 2, right? And we want to read from the beginning, right? So just run from the beginning, and you can see here, right, my Avro message, right? Automatically it will serialize because I'm using Kafka-avro-console-consumer. If you will use normal one, Kafka-console-consumer, so you can see some different type of data. You will not see the complete clear data here because the normal Kafka-console-consumer doesn't read Avro format, right? So this is the way using console tool to send the Avro data and for testing purpose. Mr. Tanveer is the data, right? And you can see here the consumer I'm using, right? So this is how we can send the Avro message to the Kafka, right? Okay, what about if I want to send with key, right? So let's see the another examples with key, right? So for key, let's say I create another one, key to key, right? Topic avro 2 with key, right? So I give the name of the topic avro 2 hyphen key, right? Okay. So I have created topic 2 hyphen key, sorry, this There I have to write here because there is a create command. So topic avro2 hyphen key, this is my topic name, and I'm going to create this topic avro2 key to test. We want to send the value and key as well, right? Yes, topic is created. Now we want to send data, right? So how we will use? So right now what we have done is that we have set the property of the value schema only, right? What about the key schema, right? So we can set the key schema as well, that how to serialize key schema, right? So hyphen property, and then key dot schema equal to, and we will set the schema similar like I have set for the value, right? So I will set here type, and what is the type, and I want integer type, right? And done. And now change the topic name here. I want to publish the data in different topic. Will to key hyphen schema, right? So I have set I want to publish in Avro 2 key topic, right? And already I have set the key dot schema as well, and the type is integer, right? There is a way to set the schema for key as well, right? Now we will send the key and value as well. So first what we'll do, that we will say we will send key. The key is, let's say, 1000 because integer. So you have to follow the schema. Type empid, let's say 1000, and emp name Mr. A, right? Oh, there is an error, we need to check expected space separator. Okay, because we have to set here, I miss one thing. If you want to send the key as well, so we have sorry, you can see here mistake here. Our topic name is wrong. Let's say Avro 2 Avro 2 dot hyphen key, and schema. After that we have to check property parse dot key, that we have to tell to the console consumer there is a key as well, true. And then we have to tell what is the separator between key and value, right? So property key dot separator, you can check the separator spelling what I am mentioning here. Actually this will work, right? And I want to use comma to separate the key and the value, right? So now pass like 1000, this is the key, and then press your comma. The first value always is the key, actually the first, and after comma I will mention here value in the same format as I have mentioned for the value schema. So my field name is employee ID, so we have to mention here, and employee ID is the integer, then 1000, and emp name is a string. I'll pass here these, right? This is the way I have passed here the key as well as value, right? Let's see how to consume with key, right? And we have consumed only value, right? And now I'm going to consume key as well. Property, we have to tell that print key as well. Print key is equal to true, right? And let's change here topic as well, because I'm publishing topic into different topic. So my topic name is topic avro2 hyphen key, and I'm going to consume with key, right? So you can see here, right, that we have a key and as well as value, right? So here, let's try again. Send the second record, 2000, right? EMP ID 2000 and EMP name Mr. Tanveer, and we have the second record, right? And you can see here consuming here the record as well with the key, right? So we have learned how to send with key and how to consume with key value using console, right? So there is a different way as well to mention here the schema as well. So this is the one way, and now let's see another way that I'll use serializer. Let's say here for producer, for example. So I have mentioned here the key schema is equal to type integer, right? So I can use here key dot serializer. So how to serialize my key, right? So there is a key serializer, like I'll show you how to use, right? So we will use like this: org apache kafka common serialization dot integer serializer, right? So let's see, I pass here directory serializer that integer serializer, right? This is the default serializer provided by the Kafka, right? So I'm using for key how to serialize key. So use integer serializer, right? This is also a one way to send the key and set the key schema. If when we set the key schema, when we have a like complex schema, then we set. If we have a simple string or integer or double or float, so we use directly key dot serializer equal to this simple integer serializer, string serializer, float double serializer, right? So usually our the key is like not a complex object, right? So we use directly like this, right? Integer serializer, right? And pass here 3000, right? EMP ID 3000, EMP name, and the name was. This is my third record. Oh, let's see what is the problem here. We can see there will be some problem with unexpected character. Name is a string. EMP. Okay, I miss here. You can see here. Let's start again. I miss double quotes actually. So once again, yes. So 3000, EMP ID, then close. We have to follow the schema format. If you miss, then it will give an error like this, right? EMP name, and then was, and we have to be very careful with exactly the field. So we have mentioned into the value dot schema and with the type and the field name as well. Is the case sensitive. If you don't give the same name and the data type, it will give you an error, right? So, so this is the way to send, but actually this is throwing in error because I have used two different. So the data has been, we can test this data as well from confluent control center as well. So we have confluent because I have installed confluent. So this is the control center of the confluent. So by default it's run on 9021, right? So 9021 to debug this whether the message has been sent or not. So we can come here and we can go to the topic and we can check, right? So let's debug this because I have sent the data in the topic Avro2, but still I'm unable to consume. Let's see what's happening. Yes. So here we can see that we have like topic Avro2 I have created, and click on that topic Avro2 key and go to the message to list all your message, and go to the offset and press 0 because there is a one partition only. It is that way listing only partition number 0, and you can see all your message here. So there is a message, yes, I have sent 3 message. The offset is start from by default 0, and you can see here that I have sent Mr. Wazir, Tanveer, Shahnawaz, right? So let's see the schema here, right? So I have, you can see here the schema, employee ID, integer, employee name is string, right? And for the key, the schema is integer, right? Right. So here, that is the reason it is throwing error, because one time I have used different serializer, and the second time I was using different serializer. That is a problem, right? So that is the issue. That topic of root 2 hyphen key, the topic of root 2 hyphen key, we have a value, but we are unable to list here, and it is throwing an error, right? Because for Shahnwaz, what I have done is, because in the topic we are not using any schema evolution right now, schema registry, so that we can change data type or serializer. That is the reason, because the first time I have used here the serializer as an integer serializer. Before that integer serializer I have used here schema, right? Schema type, right? So now I have changed. That is the reason that the consumer side it is confused that how to serialize the key. Now they have a two way to serialize, right? So we can do that when we will use the schema registry here, right? But I shown you there is a two way, and to send the data as well. Okay, what about it? It looks very difficult here to pass here the schema detail here, right? It is very difficult. So what we can do is, there is another way to pass the schema as well, that we can write this schema into the file and we will pass the file name here, right? So let's see that example as well, right? So let's see. I have written here schema here. You can see here I have written employee dot avrc. So let's see what I have written here. Employee avrc, right? So this is the way I have created the schema, Avro schema. You can give the name space any name, but type must be required. You can give the employee name, let's say name, I give anything, whatever you want, right? Employee details, let's say employee details, right? And in that we can list here the fields. So like I want only employee ID and the EMP name, right? Whatever the type you can mention here, right? So this is the way how you can mention here the schema detail in the for Avro, right? So because we know that the Avro to define the Avro schema we need JSON. In the JSON format we define the Avro schema, right? So I have defined the schema for the value, right? So now this time we are going to send the message using schema which is written into the file, right? So this is the, so let's create for testing purpose. I will create here another Avro 3, right? And this is my topic name. You can give any name. Topic Avro 3, right? Okay, topic Avro 3 is created here. Now produce the message, right, using this employee.avrc file, right, because this is the schema of value. So see how I am passing this schema, right, because this is like cluttered if I pass the complete schema detail on the command line. So the same like Kafka-avro-console-producer, bootstrap server, localhost 9092, topic, and the topic name is topic Avro 3, right? I have created this topic Avro 3, right? Now I will start passing properties. Yeah. So first important property that value dot schema, right? Before I was passing the complete schema structure, right? This time I'm not passing the schema structures, I will pass file, right? So we will have to give the path here. So deploy.avrc, right? On the where I'm running the command, in the same place I have this file. That's why I'm not mentioning path here, right? Otherwise you have to path the complete path, right? So this is the file. Using that file, that Avro console producer has to serialize the data value of the message, right? So I have passed here the value schema, and then I can pass here property key dot schema here. Let's say type integer, right? I can pass key dot schema like this, and then I have to tell to the console producer that we have key. So pass dot key is equal to true, that we are going to enter the key as well. And how we will differentiate between key and the value, then I have to pass here property key dot separator. So you have to make sure that the separator spelling, right, you have to pass the same. So I will use the comma for to separate the key and the value, right? So this is the way how to use Avro console producer with the schema file, right? So now, right, path dot key and property key separator. Let's insert the value now. The value is 1000 for the key, right? And for value of message is the empid. You have to tell the field, and this is the field value, and another field is emp name. What we have mentioned the name into the file, we have to use the same name here, right? This is these, right? So like this, we can pass here the key as well as value, right? Now we can consume. Let's see how to consume, right? So we know how to consume, right? So this is very easy. Just we have to pass here Avro 3, and so we have to set the property, right? So let's see. You need to type like from, if we write like in many multiple lines, so it will be very easy to understand, right? That's why I'm writing in the multiple line property, and print the key is equal to true. I want to print this key as well, right? So topic Avro 3. Topic Avro 3, we need to check the problem. Topic Avro 3, let's check here that has been created or not, or there is some issue while producing. So just refresh this control center. E dot separator, E dot schema. Okay, yeah, there is a problem with the E dot schema. You can see here I did not close the comma here, right? So it means the message has not been produced, and there is a problem. Let's check. We have created and see the message here, but I think we will not get any message. Yeah, right. Because see in my command there is an error that key.schema I have opened with the comma but I did not close. So let's break this and type again the Kafka-avro-console-producer, bootstrap server, localhost 9092. We know this is the basic, right? From the beginning, from the day one, we know this thing, right? And now in the second line, we will write property value dot schema dot file employee dot arc property key dot schema, and then the type, and then integer, and right, this time I will not do the same mistake. Close this and property, then parse key. We have to tell to the console producer that we are going to pass key as well, and property dot how to separate separator. So we will use a comma, right? Yes. Right, now this command is correct to use value schema file, right? I have written all my schema here, right? So let's say pass here 1000 and PID is 1000, EMP name, this is the way to pass value. So we have successfully produced a message, Avro message, in using Avro console producer, and you can see here that even the consumer is working, right? So this is the way if we write our schema into the file, and so how to use file command line to test, right? Actually this tool Kafka-avro-console-producer, this is for testing purpose, right? How we can test that? This is the way to test when everything is working fine. Then we will start writing the producer application where we will use Avro format to serialize and deserialize message, right? So this is also way. Okay, what if I want to send the key schema file as well? The same. You have to write the schema for key, and you have to pass the like employee.avrc. Then you have to pass employee key avrc, and everything will be the same, right? So this is the way how to produce Avro data and how to consume Avro message using the console producer and the console consumer, right? Hope this lecture is well enough to understand the concept of Avro console producer and Avro console consumer. In the next video, we will write producer application. We will write producer application where we will use the Kafka-avro-serializer to send the message in Avro format. Thank you very much. We'll see producer application in the next.